In case you're wondering, I don't have my 24 jersey underneath my sweatshirt here, okay? Well, this is a really a special week for so many reasons. I mean, obviously the holidays. We wish everybody happy holidays, and are right in the middle of messing their holiday up here, or yours at least, for having to work. But it's a very special week for us. Last week of the season, playing for everything, for a division and all that. Very fortunate to be in that situation. It is what we aim for. This is what we always look towards, and we always wonder if it's the chance to do something like this is going to happen on the road or happen at home. We're thrilled we'll be here. This is a really good football team we're playing, obviously. They've done so many good things this year. A fantastic turnaround by their program and by their coaches and their players and all that. They've been flying all season long. So they've had a lot of really extraordinary games since we saw them in the last month and a half or whatever it is. So they're ready for everything right now. So it's a great challenge. Our guys are jacked up and ready to go. We already started the week. We're here Christmas Eve, whatever it takes. So our guys are tuned into it. It's really important that we have great work and great focus, and we get ready to play the kind of ball game we want to play. So we're looking forward to it.
So Robert Turbo.
Yeah, Turbo's in the house. Yeah, he's ready to go.
Pete, what's the value of bringing Marshawn Lynch back in beyond maybe the yards or anything he can give you on the field?
Well, he's an extraordinary person, and he's been we've just been through so much and know him as well as I think you could know a guy, and what he brings and what he offers and all. And he brings a lot to the table. He's as physical a player as I've ever been around, as great a competitor as I've ever been around. And so when you get to add somebody like that, to your team, it only helps and enhances kind of the mentality that we already cherish anyway. So, we'll find out how he can play and how he does. It's been a little while off. He looks great in the first couple looks at him, as far as his conditioning and all of that. His weight's down. He's in a really good spot for coming and going for it. He was very serious about getting ready for this opportunity, and the stroke of misfortune on some regards really opens up the door, which it happens at times, and he's ready to take full opportunity at hand and see what he can do to help us.
How much is the same from the last time? Both of those guys have been with you, but things have changed on the offense. How much is the same for them to pick back up?
There's when we get with them out there, and you talk about the basics and stuff like that, it's no problem. But when you get on the field with them and they start hearing the huddle calls come rattling out and the rhythm and the quickness of all of that, then they're taxed some. Both of these guys are good ball players. They've been through a lot. They know a lot of stuff. Football comes easy to them. But it's still they're going to have to put together a really good week to really have the hold on it, so they can have command and feel confident and play like they want to play.
How long had you been keeping in contact with Marshawn about this opportunity?
Well, he'd been gone how many years?
3.
Yeah, really. There's been times over the years that we have hooked up for one reason or another when we played against each other or whatever. There was always a couple messages in there that went back and forth, some texts and stuff. So in regards to this go-around right now, John has a master plan for all issues that could pop up, everything we can think of. And when this one popped up, he had some stuff in the works, to give us a chance to have a shot like this, and so it worked out. But there's been a line of communication over the years.
After Penny got hurt on the 8th, and then Marshawn had a visit here, what did you want to hear from him in that?
Well, at that time, he just dropped in. He was in town and all that. That was a little bit different. But what I need to hear from him is where his heart is. Is he in it and wants to go for it, which he totally does, and he's worked to prove that. And I don't doubt him one bit about that. He's very sincere about how he presents himself to this game, and it's very important to him to be at his best and to do well. And he's going to do everything he can to make that happen.
What's your understanding of how long he's been actually physically preparing and training to play?
Well, we did talk about that. He had surgery a year ago, and he had to work his way back out of that. So he started a process to get himself so that he wouldn't fall apart, post surgery, and he had a program that he was on. So he's been working to stay in shape all along, and he stepped it up with just maybe the hopes that something could happen at the end of this season, and he was very fortunate to get the opportunity.
Were there things you needed to see from him yesterday in the physical or anything like that?
Yeah, that's why we give him a physical. Yeah, all that stuff, really, all the tests and all that, and the movement workout and make sure he was okay. You know, he passed the physical in good shape, and everything, you know, really kind of just was checking boxes.
It was reported that his workout regimen really kicked up in the high gear these last couple of weeks after his visit here. Did he express to you while he was here that, hey,
I didn't talk to him, sure. I did not see him. He blew through here. I didn't see him. We were in the middle of a practice day. I didn't get to see him.
When it comes to bringing someone back who's been here before, how much do the relationships you build when players are here, how much does that pay off? Whether it's a guy who's been released you bring back, or in this case a guy who's quasi-retired, getting him back?
Yeah, I think everything counts, Sean. I mean, everything that ever has happened is, you know, comes into decisions like this, and so I do think it has a lot to do with it. There was a lot of give and give in this relationship, you know, from our end of it and from his end of it. You know, we've gone through a lot, and so you know, you build a relationship, you build an understanding. It doesn't mean that everything is always clear and all that, you know, because you know, when you've got complicated people working at stuff, you know, things can, you know, you can get at odds at things. We made it through all of it, you know, and all of the challenges, and here we are. And the meeting we had yesterday to kind of set this thing in motion was memorable for me. You know, the stuff we went through and talked about, and to hear where he is now and what he's been through. He's been through a lot in his personal life, you know, and he's just continues, as all the young guys do, they continue to grow and see things, you know, more clearly as they, you know, experience their stuff. And he's got a lot going on, you know, in his life, and he's been through a bunch, and it's benefited him. I think it benefited him to be here in his time, and that was pretty well understood. It was good to hear.
Did you see the Raiders game last year in anticipation of this? Did you go back and watch any of him, or was it more about what you saw?
John did that. John, his guys did all that. I didn't.
What's realistic to expect from either Marshawn or Robert in this
I hope they
situation?
can contribute. You know, Travis is ready to go. You know, he knows everything. He's been through all of our system for you know, the whole year. He showed that he was ready to play football and did a good job in the game. We lean on him because of his background with us and his toughness and his speed and his playmaking. We're pleased to have that opportunity, the good fortune to have him ready to go. And then we'll just fit the guys in. You know, give me a couple days here. You know, this is like the first day. So.
What kind of adjustment is that for Marshawn with this being a different blocking scheme from when he was here the first time?
There's a lot of similarities. For the most part, it's similar. It's more similar than it isn't. There's terminology, you know, that's tacked on to stuff, and more motions and formations and things like that are some new things that he has to pick up. But the fundamental part of it is it's very much the same.
After a tough loss, like you guys just said, how much is this a boost of energy that maybe allows everyone to, you know, get a spark?
I mean, the fact that we're playing San Francisco, yeah, there's a natural boost. Honestly, we talk in reference to this opportunity from April on, you know, and that's when we start way back when, to get prepared for the opportunity to go out here and play good football when this time comes. And every game that we've played has prepared us for this, so we're boosted. You know, the boosters are on and we're rolling, and so I don't know, you know, what can add to that other than just a really good preparation and then a great performance when we go. And but right now, this is a blast. This is as much fun as we can have, and I love every bit of it.
Clowney practice today?
Yeah, he's going.
Jack too?
Yes.
Jaquiski Tartt's been hurt the last couple of weeks. The defense has taken a bit of a dip. How important is he to what they do?
Well, he is important. He's a really good ball player, but the guys they've been mixing through there have done, you know, they haven't skipped a beat. It doesn't seem. You know, they're really playing great pass defense, playing fantastic pass defense, and to go along with the rush that we know has been so formidable, that makes them a very difficult opponent. So, you know, he's a really good ball player, though.
Was there ever a thought and a plan that maybe Marshawn could be a backup to Chris for?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I got distracted by the moving your glasses, you know. Say it again.
Marshawn released a video last night. It was him talking about the potential of coming back to Seattle and what that would mean, and how he kind of likes what Chris Carson's doing up here, and he just kind of get in where he could fit in. And was there talks of where he could be the backup to Chris for this push into the playoffs?
That conversation, I don't know about. I don't know anything about that. I mean, he was hoping to get an opportunity. I know that, but there was never a format that was, you know, that was orchestrated where that could happen. We weren't thinking that way.
How's Quandre Diggs doing for you right now?
It's going to be slow early in the week. We're going to take it all the way to the end of the week and see how he responds. I don't have. We don't have to talk about the injuries, right? Until tomorrow, so we'll talk under the tree. It's going to be slow. It's going to be later in the week before we know anything about him.
How did Wayne come out of surgery?
They always come out great, and the surgery went beautiful. Yeah. No, there was no setbacks, no surprises, but a very necessary cleanup that was needed. So. I mean, he's just days, a couple days out. He just got home back here today, I think. So we don't know a whole lot, but everything was reported to be exactly like they had anticipated, and there was no surprises.
Is Chris Carson going to have surgery, or do we know sort of the?
Don't know that yet. Don't know that yet.
Rashad, has he had his surgery, and how did that?
I haven't seen him in a few days. I don't know if he had his surgery or not. He did? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that yet. CJ is going to get worked on too, matter of fact.
How's Mike Iupati?
Mike's practicing today. Yeah, he seems to be all right.
DK, not a whole lot of opportunities, nothing much going on for him on Sunday. What do you want him to take away from that? Are defenses playing him differently, or is it something that he needs to improve on?
No, he played against one of the premier guys in the NFL, and with focus, and he was trying to, keep him from making his plays, and the ball just didn't get that way, in that direction, and there was no intention to stay away from him or any of that. It just didn't go that way. Maybe he has to learn that, sometimes you have to wait for your opportunities. They got to come, and he's got to work to create them too, and find the spaces and all that. But it was a good matchup in their favor.
Kittle wasn't out there last time you played them. Just what does he bring to
He's
that
an
offense?
amazing player. He really is. He's a heart and soul guy for them, and a clutch guy too. They go to him when times are crucial and all that. He's a fantastic player, not just a catcher. He's a blocker as well. He's a good ball player.
How did you, looking back on it, how did DeMarco handle left tackle?
It was hard. It was hard. Went to get against a great guy, and it worked him the whole day. He did a lot of things that were really good. And I mean, the sacks that his guy had weren't all on him, and it didn't all happen because of his protection and all. But he was tested. That was a real test. Chandler's an amazing player.
What did you see out of Brian Monet in his appearance on Sunday?
He made it. He made it through it. First real action. A little over anxious at times, and trying to force issue a little bit, but an okay first performance. He held his own. He's a very big stud of a kid, and he hung in there real well in the line of scrimmage.
Marshawn Lynch has already marketed unfinished business on T-shirts and sweatshirts. How much did you guys talk about that notion and want him on?
Well, I didn't think that would be maybe the only campaign that he would move out, but we did consider some options and stuff.
How much
I don't know.
that's a motivation for him to get another ring before he really truly walks away from it?
He is highly motivated to do everything you can do in this game. He really is. He wants to do everything he could possibly do, and he knew he wasn't done. He got in a situation where he was injured and he had rehab and all that, and then it just didn't fit together right away. But he's not done playing, and he wants to go, and so this is his entree, and he's going to go for it. He won't hold back. He won't hold back one bit. So look forward to see what happens.
Has Marshawn changed much since he last played here? Have you noticed any difference in the conversations you've had?
Well, I mentioned to you that he's been through a lot in this, I don't know, how many, 4 years? 3 years? 4 years? He's been through a lot in his life, and he's taken on a lot of responsibility in his life, in his community and his family and all of that. And I think it has affected him. Yeah, I think he sees the world, in a new way, things that he had never done before, and things that now he understands are different than he might have thought in the past. And so, it just, like I said, he has grown, and it comes across when you visit with him. And I don't know if that means he's going to talk to you guys. I don't know about that, but it was really a pleasure to visit with him on it and about the options and what we were talking about, and I'm anxious to help him, get this opportunity to do something really fun and special.
I know he hasn't been in the building long, but have you gotten a sense of what other players, what they think of this, and just the level of excitement to have him in the building?
No, I really haven't. I mean, I know that some of the guys who have been around before, they're excited for him to be here, but I don't know from a lot of guys who don't know him. I don't know about that.
Do you think he wants to continue playing beyond this, or does he just see this as a right now thing?
Do you know what Marshawn wants? I don't. I've been around him longer than anybody. I have a clue. So.
With the stakes Sunday night playing the 49ers, does it reignite any memories of those games like 2012, 2013, and those?
You mean the Bay Area thing between Oakland and San Francisco? No, not that. You don't mean that one. You mean just in general?
Yeah, for those big games.
Well, yeah. When you get a championship opportunities, and there's some similarities to it for sure. You know, uniforms look pretty similar, and it's going to feel similar in the look of it and all that. You know, we've never looked at games as rivalry games, and I just don't use that, you know, that way of expressing it. But I love it if that's what you guys feel. I mean, if the fans feel that, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We just don't look at it that way. We look at it a little differently.
How do you go about cleaning up the protection issues, knowing that you got another good defensive line coming in here this weekend?
Yeah. Well, we're going to go about it. That's underway.
What makes Kyle Shanahan such a good play caller?
That's a good question, because it goes way back. He grew up as a football guy, you know, and he was at camps with his pops, you know, from way back when. He was a little, you know, punk kid running around, you know, camps and stuff, and he just grew up a natural, you know. It just made sense to him. He's been, you know, way ahead of people his age in understanding of scheme and principles. The coaches that he was around, the coaches that embraced him when he was growing up, you know, he just learned it all. And so he's allowed, because of his background, he's allowed to be extremely creative and innovative. And he's just almost a perfect product of a guy being raised to be a football coach. And particularly, he's been an offensive guy his whole life. And you know, his dad was an offensive specialist as well. And all their buddies and friends. I mean, he's just been in that conversation forever, and it just paid off. He's, you know, very, very fortunate.
You get 2 3rd and 16s on that game-winning drive against a pretty good defense. What does that say about where Garoppolo and that whole offense is now?
Yeah, well, I'm sure they felt very fortunate too. You know, the odds of making either one of those is really slim, and so that it kind of gave you a statement that this was their opportunity to get to this point right here. You know, they figured out a way to do it and come through in a big way. So.
How did Turbin look to you when you brought him in for workouts?
He looked very fit. Yeah, he's always been such a stud, you know, and strong and quick and explosive. He's been working out really hard. He looks very fit.
With the way that you guys practice this time of year, I don't know how much you guys are hitting in practice. What will you have to see from Marshawn to know how much he'll be ready for Sunday?
I don't even know that. I'm just going to go to practice, see what happens. I'll let you know in a couple of days. He's going to be fine. He's going to look good. He's going to do everything really well. I can already tell, you know, so that I'm not worried about that at all. There won't be an opportunity to really challenge his conditioning at this time. We don't want to at this time. We just want to just bring him along and you know, get him ready, just as we do with guys coming in. You know, you don't want to bust their tail thinking you're going to get him in shape in 3 days. You know, it's not going to happen. So the conditioning level that he has is kind of what he has, and then we'll just build on it as we have some time as we move forward.
Is it a certainty he's playing Sunday night?
Let me get to practice first, okay? I haven't practiced yet, but I'm counting on it.
How broad was the group of options that you had at the running back position before selecting Marshawn?
Well, there's a lot of people out there that want to play, and you know, Johnny's all over that stuff, and there's a bunch of names, and at this time right now there may be fewer than ever, you know, because this is the end of the year and there's an attrition for the season and all that. But I don't even know what the number would be. I can't help you.
When a guy comes back from a long layoff into pro football, what's typically the biggest concern?
The day after. That's the problem. You know, it's the day after you play, and how you respond to the, you know, to the workload and the hitting and all of that. You know, how you can recover is really the challenge. The first time out, it's not as much of a challenge. It'll be the second time out and the third time out and so forth.
What's a message to the team? You got practice today. Tomorrow's the obvious day to celebrate with family, and you come back. Is it, oh, be with family, and by the way, don't forget the next day? I mean, what's the...
Yeah, the guys will get a break tomorrow, and you know, that's just by design for the whole program. And as much as we can allow that, we will. We've done this before. You know, we took a day off of Thanksgiving. We've done this in years past, and all. It does call for us to do a nice review the next day, which would be, I don't know what day it is. Thursday, I think it is. Yeah, that day is important for us to review, so we don't lose anything of what we gained, you know, on this day's work. But we know that too, and we've done that for years to smooth it out. It all works. It all works. You just flip a day from getting off on a Tuesday. We're going to get off on a Wednesday for the players.
How did Michael Kendricks make it through Sunday's game?
He made it through, and he's a little sore from the work. I won't know how he's doing until later in the week.
Do you get a sense of how excited this fan base is having Marshawn come back? I mean, it was almost like a 180 on social media in a matter of 12 hours from the loss on Sunday.
Well, obviously, I'm not surprised. I mean, he's impacted a lot of people around here, and people that love the Seahawks. He's been something very special, and so I'm thrilled for the fans that they're having fun with it and all that, and I'll be really thrilled if he knocks out about 110 in a ball game. So.
Coach, with all the ups and downs in the last couple of weeks, what's the key to keeping the momentum going as you head toward the postseason?
Well, we have to stay with the focus that's right in front of us right now. We got to be right here, right now. Get this day done and max it out, and just take one step at a time. That's how we do it, and it's our ability to be disciplined by that challenge and to maximize the opportunity, use our imagination under the circumstances of how we're practicing and all that to get us to the next day. And we just do one step at a time.
How much of a factor was what Marshawn brings to the locker room and that energy to the fan base too, but mostly the locker room, in addition to what he's the need on the field?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to try to kid you that I didn't understand that there's going to be a little bit of juice about that, and I think it's awesome. I got no problem with it, and he's I'm not quite sure what the result of all that will be, but it's fun. It's fun stuff. He's been a great character.
Anything else?
Good.
Thank you.